All right, guys. So today class we're gonna work with Jot. Jot is a library, right, to do the validation of our data from the input form, right? Input, basically input. Let's call it input. You can validate any data, but basically we're gonna validate our inputs. So we're gonna use the Jot to validate the data in the front end, basically in the form and also in the API, right? So first we're going to work to validate in the API, and then we're going to test our API if that is working or not, right? All right. So what is the first step? Install Jod, right? So how are you going to do that? npm install Jod. Okay, simple enough. So once you install the Jod, right, then in your API, this post API, you just call that, right? So how are you going to do that? Import G, right, from Jod. Okay, done. So once you have this, right, once you have Jod, now you want to define the schema, right? Schema is what? Schema is the blueprint of your data, blueprint, right? So we know Jod is used for validation. To validate data, you need to define the schema. So let's do that here. So I'll just write cons, right? Cons, and let's call it, what we're going to call it? Issue form data, right? Let's call that one. Or maybe issue form schema. Let's call this schema, right? Yes, schema. Okay. Issue form schema, right? Yeah, this is the schema. Schema is the blueprint of the data, right? So we're gonna use Jot. So Jot dot, right, and then call the object. Why we use object? Because we have many fields, not boolean, right, but object. Let's call this object, and inside here you're gonna pass now all the field, right, like this object is a function. Okay, it accepts the object, right, as a parameter, and inside you define all your data types. So first one is what? Title, right? From the from our I hope you guys remember, from the Prisma schema here, right? You're gonna send title and description only. The rest is default value, right? ID automatic, status automatic, right? But it has enum. It has the validation, not validation, right? Let's call it, what you call that, enum. I always forget, right, the name. Let's say, okay, so if I have to say what is enum, right? What is enum? Okay, used for, right? Let's call it. So enum is type checking, right? Type is a special data type. Okay, here look at this. Enum is also a special data type, right? To define, like you want to define your own types. So because I want to have a data type, right, like open, close, in progress, like you defining your own type, then you're going to use enum. Okay, so enum is a special data type that enables for a variable to be a set of predefined constants, right? So these are like predefined data value. Okay, basically this is a kind of value, right? Predefined. Sorry guys, let me turn. Okay, predefined value. So we have like open, close, and all that, right? So in that case, you're going to use enum. Okay, just remember that. We have seen that data, right? String, number, boolean, all that. But you need to define sometimes like set of information, right? You can store in the enum type. Okay, so that's what I did here, right? uh, Here enum status, that's the name of all this type, right? All this data, these are the constant kind of data, fixed value, right? Either it will be open or in progress or close, it will be one of them, right? So we just define here, and then now this is a type of data like string, date, time. This is also type. status is a type of data. It holds all this information. So if you call the default, right, you choose one of them. See, if I call here like O, I can get O, or in progress I can get in progress, right? So for now I just keep it open, okay? But anyway, this is the what the point was, right? The title and descriptions are the only things we need to check, because that is the two data we will be sending from the form. Not all these, right? These all have default value, okay? All these have, when you create a form, or basically when you send data to the database, this will be automatic. It will, database will create automatically. It will add one of this field, open automatically, date will be automatically, and update will be automatic, right? The left is title and description. So that is all we need here, right? So title z dot string. So this will be small string, right? Like this, and dot. So you can, now you can define, this will be minimum character. So I will say minimum 1. And then also I can add message here, right? Message, and I will call it just call it title is required. You can define this in more like this is a minimum, right? This is a minimum. You can add here max also, like max, right? And put it here, maybe let's make it maximum 50 character, right? So you need at least one character, and you cannot go more than 50 now. So this is your definition, okay? Same thing, description, and that is also a string. And then here I will say min, string, right? Minimum is, so I think something is not right. String. So I need to put G, right? That's why I said why is error. Okay, so minimum will be, you can add it maybe 5, 6 like that, and then call it a message. So description is required, right? And then you can add maximum, how big the description can be, right? So you can add dot max and put it, maybe let's call it maybe 500 character, right? Like that. Or you can leave it blank, or you can add it maybe 1,000. It does not matter. So because we have the text, right, it can go around 6,000 something, 600 something character, okay? So you can leave it strict here. Let's make it 1,000, you know, if you want to add a big story, right? Or 2,000 is okay, does not matter. So we define the schema now, right? Schema, good to go. How are we going to use now, right, in our uh, to validate this body? Now this body is coming from the form, right? So how are we going to validate that? So here you're going to write const validation, just give variable name equal to what is the schema name here, issue form, right? And pass the data now, body. That's it. So this is the body coming from the form, or the, for now we just use the postman to test. So when you receive that data, right, title and description, that body is passed inside this issue form schema. Okay, so here you can see title, description, right? It use this safe parse function, because you need to parse, right, your data, whatever data is this, safely parse this data and let the issue form validate it. Let issue form schema check our data, right? If the title has proper title and description has proper description, means at least it should be string, it should have one character. If someone left blank, it will throw the error title is required, right? Or you can put title, at least one character for title is required, something like that. Okay, you can make it more proper, like 10-15 character, right? So it will throw error. If there is no description, it will throw error. If both matches, right, both has the valid information, at least parsing or passing all this requirement, that means this will be true, success, right? So now how we check that? So here we're gonna say, we'll check now if there is validation success or not. So validation dot success, right? See, it will give us the success message now. If that is, let's say if the validation is success, that means this will return true. Okay, if no success, right, that is it will return false. So when there is no validation, that is false. So the false means, that means I should return from here, so I will make that false true. Sorry guys, so I will just make that false true, right? So that is not false. If I put not false here, what happened? This false will convert to true. So that means I'm return back here, return JSON, basically this error message, call it or not error, right? Now we are using the validation here, Jod, so it has a special error. Now let's return that. So validation dot error, right? And then you can format that for, so you can just return it like anything here, errors, you can return that, but better will be format, right? So it will return the nice formatted error. Okay, that's it. And status is 400, right? So if this fail, if there is no success, then not success, not false will be true, and you return from here and done, right? You never go down this one. Okay, but if this is success, that is true, then it will be false. That means this will not do anything. You move to this line, and you know you're gonna handle the, okay, one thing missing here, right? Remember, when you deal with the database or asynchronous, right, async, because this returns promise. Okay, so you must await that, because it will take time, right? AWAI, await. Okay, await that one, so that it will handle the basically handle our data submit, right? And we have title, description, fine, and then just return that issue, right? Yeah, done. So let's start this server and test now, right? npm run dev. So this server is running. What I will do is, let's go to the postman now, right? Postman. So I'm going to find the path for my API. So API is in new, right? That is the path. Post, I'm sending the data. So go to the body, feel like this is HTML form, right? And you type the title and add some description. Okay, just think like that. So I'm going to create that data now. So title will be double quote, right? No single quote, double quote, title, and then I'll call it this is first issue, right? And description, same name, same your schema name, right? And then here I'll just leave it blank like this. Okay, and send now. Let's send the data, right? And see what. Look at here, required, it says required, right? Description is required. Okay, look at that. So you get error message, description error required. Okay, now I will add here something, right? This is the description of the first issue, right? Okay, and then send. Even let's put it, okay, let's send this, right? Fine, let's send this. What happened? So I think DESCRIP description title looks okay. Now what is the error? bad request. Let's send again. So there is something error, right? Description, description, right? Description. Here is a description. Okay, so look like the name something. The name is error, right? Maybe in our validation. Let's check here. See, look at here, right? Look at this. I made mistake here. The property name is ds. It's mistake there, right? So either I can use this one, but it will not match again to our my database. So better to change, right? So let's do that. description. Description. Now check. But it was giving me error because of this name different, right? Let's try. Now I'll just remove this and send. And look at now I get the proper message, right? Description is required. That was the one I added here. So I can change this to capital D and send again, and you'll see that description is required. See that clear? And let's add the text here. I put T, right? T. Even you can check for let's say you pass the number right here in the title. You just put the 1. Okay, that is valid data. 1 is a number. Send that. Expected string received number. Look at that. So it's just checking, right? It's just checking everything. So you cannot pass valid. If you don't pass validation, your data will not submit. So now we're gonna do let's call it this is first issue, right? Good. And submit, and good to go. Look at that. The title is this is the first issue. That's the ID. Description is here. Status is open. Created ad, updated ad, right? All that you get. Okay. Now this will be in our database. Can we check? Let's do that. So I'll just run npm run, not npm, right? What was that? npx Prisma Studio, because Prisma allow us to run or grab the database in the browser, right? Look at that. First title, description, status is open. Even I can change, right? I can click here and I can switch to in progress or close. Look at this options, right? I have. So I can make it maybe in progress and save change, and created, and all these are default information. Okay, so I hope this is clear now, right? Okay, so we just learned the validation. Okay, I will pause here a bit and then ask question. So let's continue. I will, because I'm done with this, right? With the API and the JOD, what I will do is npm, not npm, git add, right? Git add commit -m, and I will say API, right? Build API and git push. Okay, so the next one is adding the Redux UI here, right? So if you go to the Redux UI, getting started, then you can install this, right? Just copy this installation. Okay, just install that. I have installed here last time, but I will still do it, right? No problem. Install. So it will install the Redux UI. That is the first step. Next, we copy this CSS, right? This import Redux UI theme, this CSS, import this right in your root application. Okay, so root of your application is layout here, right? So here you import that. See that this is imported, right? So copy paste. Next will be adding the theme to your layout, right? So just copy this one, just copy like this and go to your layout and add there, right? Then you move down and then wrap your everything inside the body, right? See, inside the body you just wrap with a theme. Okay, and then you can have navbar and the div right here, and the children is that, right? So any page now you're gonna, basically adding is inside that theme. Okay, navbar is also inside theme. So now you're gonna, why we wrap everything in the theme, right? Because what is Redux UI? Redux UI is a library for styling, like it gives the ready-made components to use. It comes with a lot of benefit, right? Like predefined styles which we're just going to use in our project. So if that is predefined style, right, what are you going to use? You're going to use anything inside this theme. So in the navbar you can use in any page now, right? Because they're all coming from as a child inside the theme now. So theme says, okay, you are my child, I will let you use my property now, right? You can use it. So everything is now inside the theme as a child. So children can inherit the property from the parent. The parent has a lot of components, predefined components, child can get it. Okay, so that is all you have to do, right? And done with the Redux UI. So fine. So once we are finished with Redux UI, what is the next? Let's look at now building the new issue page, right? So now we're going to work on the building form for submitting the issue. So let's go live, right? Okay, so let's do localhost 3000. What I will request you guys to, like, when you, even if you're not practicing, right, first you focus on the steps. Okay, what are the steps we're taking to build this project, right? Like, just try to navigate all the time. Okay, we started with the basically install all the, like nextjs projects. Then first we work on the setting up the, like, we just set up what GitHub, right? Not GitHub, but your, okay, you create a project in GitHub, uh, uh, clone that one, and then you set up your Visual Studio for the type checking, right? Or for any errors, checking. That was the, what was that? The, uh, what is that, guys? Who remember what we check up in the Visual Studio? Anyone? So we just install couple of prettier, set up prettier and all that, right? ES links and all that setup. Okay. So these setups you have to do it for every project. I mean, once you fix first time, right, your settings in your Visual Studio, all the setting will be there. You don't have to do again and again. But still, you need to add this prettier, and you need to add some changes to your, let's say, yeah, here you need to add, and one more was in the ES link, right? This one you have to change. So these are the few things you can quickly configure, right, and done. Then you start, you divide your project now, right? You're going to work with the next, first will be navbar, building the navbar. Then start focusing on the main components. Okay, so right now I just have one thing to do, right? Like creating the issue, that is all. Means I'm just working with one issue, right? Maybe in the large projects you're going to have a lot of stuff like issue. Okay, different things, right, to do, like different branch of the app, right? So issue is one branch, you might have different branch. Okay, so first you're going to start with the important things, right? So I'm working on the issue now. In the issue you have four part, the important one, core concept, right? That is creating the issue, update, delete, and like CRUD, right? Create, read, update, and delete. So I'm working on the creating right now. Okay, so once I'm done with the creating, so when I'm creating the issue now, right, what are the best approach of doing work, like validating the data, creating API, and all that things. That's what we are doing. So please repeat these steps in your mind and practice this, right? If you repeat the steps and you remember the steps, it will become easy to remember the code also. Okay, by doing 2 to 3 times, right? It will be okay. 3 to 4 times you have to practice one project. Okay, once you done with the one project, always the same thing you're gonna do with any project most of the time, right? So all right, so let's continue. Let's see, the live now is live here. Yeah, this is the live, right? So this is the home page. What I'm gonna do is I will go to the issue page here, right? If I go to the issue page, that's the displaying the list of all the issue. Okay, here we're gonna display the list of all the issue, but I want to add a button, right? In the same page, I will click on the button, and then I want to go to the create page. Okay, like create issue, right? That is what I will do. So let's do that. So I'm in the view, like I'm just like reading all the issue in the view. So I'm gonna add button here. What I will do is import button, right, from the Redux UI theme. See, there is a button in the Redux UI theme we have looked at before also. I will just delete this and add the button here. Button. I'll like add new issue, right? Okay. So now you're gonna see why not coming up. Okay, you see that add new issue. Let's add some style, right? Class name, give it a margin, or I think better, right? Let's add. So this box can have margin Y of maybe 4, top and bottom 4. So it will push it down a little bit, right? Good to go. So when I click this, I want to go to the create issue, right? Add new issue or create new issue, basically, what you can create, right? Create new issue. So I want to click this and I want to go to the next page. But the button don't have the click right now, no click, right? Because I click and go to next page, how I can do that? So for that, the link, right? Linking, import link from nextjs, and I will remove this and put here link. Now where I want to go, right? That is the href. We know how to use the link now. So backslash you can do, or maybe quotation mark, right? Then slash, this is the root, right? Localhost 3000 slash issues slash new, right? New. And look at here, issues slash new page. I will go inside this page now here. Okay. One more thing I will do, what I will do, right here, I will use this button as a children, right? Children. Okay, not as a main component but as a child component, because we have another component here. Okay, so that's why this becomes the parent, right? Main. But I don't want to use that as a main. Just make it child, as child. So there is a property in the next Redux UI. I will show you now, right? Let's look at the Redux UI and component, right? Let's go to the component, and you're gonna find the button here, right? Button, and I just import that button, right? Now these are the props you can pass. What is props? Props is the property you can pass to the component as a children, true or false. So when you pass as child, right, that is true. If you don't pass, that is false. Okay. Size by default is 2. You can make big button, just make it size like this, right? You can pass here size, and then string. Okay, let's make it 1, right? See, it gives all the option now also. See that? It's very smart. Okay, this type checking is now my buttons will be small, right? Look at here, and you just see it just shrink down, it's small. Okay, you can make it 4 also, right? Big if you want. 4. Look at that. So you just need whatever, right? Let's make it 3. Yeah. So on the way we will learn about this in a couple of component also how to use that. That's good. Now there are different like a radius, you want to make it small, medium, large, like a rounded radius. Even you can call the loading, all that, right? But for now, just make it as a child, use this button as a child, and that is what it is, right? Because this link is the main, button is not the main component. Okay, just use it as a child. Okay, like just to create a button, right? Like make a nice button. Okay, good. So now I will click this button and it will take me to the new issue page now, right here. Look at here, this issue new, right? I went inside this page now. Okay, now I'm going to start creating the form, right? So import what I'm going to import. So how am I going to create a form now, right? Let's go to here. So inside this component, is there something we're going to use to create? Yeah, so here is text field and text area, right? So I'm going to use text field and see, look at this form, right? So this is the some kind of icon here that is inside the slot, text field dot slot. So first you have to start with text field component dot root and you add the placeholder. So this is what you see here, placeholder, search the document, right? Okay. Then if you need some other icons, you can put in the slot field, text field dot slot. If you don't need, then you can use the text field dot, I believe, input, right? So let's see, there is something text field dot this is not okay, there is no input, just the root, right? I don't know why is no input there. Just create, you see that different kinds of form, right? You can create with all these props, fine. So we will check, right? We'll check. Okay, so that is text field. So let's call the text field, text area, text field, like this, from Redix UI theme. Just click on that. Okay, so inside here I'm going to delete this and I will call text field dot root, like that. Okay, and here I'll just put placeholder uh, title, right? you know just call it title, right? Title, yeah, that is fine. Title. Now you're gonna add, right? This is just the field, okay? But here text field dot and the slot, no input. Oh, why not? Should have input in. I just let me check, right? Okay, okay. I believe there is an input also. Let's see if there is an input, right? Like that. Sometimes I don't use for a long time. I just forget. So there is a component, right? And also there are some like normal kind of like text heading, if normal component, right? You can use for theme. I don't need to look at that. Yeah, okay, we'll figure out this, right? There should be something to add the text, but I know this is not the right one. These are just a typography. Just don't find the input. There is only two things I'm getting, right? You can have text field. Hmm. Okay, so fine. Let's leave it like that. I'm gonna take that out. Then no need. Just put the closing tag here, right? But I know this is not. I believe this is not correct. We'll check. Okay. So if you now go back here, right? Now you see this form. You can type here something. Correct. That is one field. This is too big, right? Too big. So how are you gonna fix that? So here, let's do that class name and give it max width of maybe how much? LG is okay. So now our box, that div box, right, become large size. Okay, that is 512 pixel. So all the child inside is stuck within that size. Clear? So the next thing is, you want to write the text, right? Like a lot of text. So that is text area. I mean, you can use the text area from here, right? Text area, this one. So same thing, text area placeholder, like something like this. Okay? So you just need to import, right? Text area. I don't have. So even I can click here, right? Click and control dot. Okay, and it will give me option to import from. So I'll just say Redux UI theme, right? Update from Redux UI theme. So it will just add here text area. Okay. So now you see something like this. Refresh like that, right? Text area. We need one button to submit also, so let's do that. Maybe I can put side by side, right? And then, you know let's do that. Oh, let me minimize this. So I feel like everyone is okay. Now it's minimized. Ismail is very good in fixing this thing. Okay, so I just need a one button, so let's do that. Button, right? And here we can call it like submit, right? Submit. Save. You see that? So see, everyone is touching, right? So how are you gonna fix that? Here, just go space y-axis. How much? Maybe 4. Good. So when you click this button now, right, you're gonna type here. This is title 2, and then you add some long text here, right? Okay, and then submit. So this will go to the our API, and then API will check this, and then it will send to the database. Right? That's how it works. So we finish just adding the form, right? Okay, so one more thing. Okay, what I will do now is space y, right? Let's add like margin top of maybe 5. Okay, so because it's touching on the top, like navbar, right? I don't want that. So this, all right. So let's see what is the next thing we're gonna do. So we just build the issue page. Okay, So I will just commit now, right? One thing, one thing at a time. Git add commit cast m, build new issue page, and git push. So the next thing is add markdown editor, right? How you gonna do that? Add markdown editor. So what is markdown editor, right? Let's search that. Markdown editor, right? React, okay. I don't know. Let's see, where is that? Maybe something like that. Oh, it's not coming up. Anyway, I have here. I just added earlier. Right? Let's check. Okay, simple MDE, right? Easy markdown editor. Okay, this is the one. So we create form to add new issue, right? We create create form to add new issue. Okay, we have done that. Redux UI, we have done that one already. We can replace text area with the React component library called React Simple MDE, right? Because the problem with this text area is, you cannot format the data, right? It's just simple text. Why not? We can have like a nice MDE, nice like a some kind of Word document kind of field, right? Where you can type and format things. Okay. For that reason, we're going to use this. So we just have to install this, right? Here is two library, okay? Two library, right? React Simple MDE editor and then Easy MDE, right? So Easy MDE is the library which wraps this one, okay? React Simple MDE editor, right? Okay. So we just have to install that and then import these two in your page where you're going to use that, and then just use this component, right? That is all simple enough. Okay, let's open this, and it has all the information. So it says installation. I'd go to installation, just install this, right? 3 step, okay? Install and copy and use the component, right? So just install that. Here is two things: React Simple MDE editor and Easy MDE, right? That is the two things you're gonna need. All right. Next is what is next? Now it says, right? Copy these two things in your component, right? So where is my component? The new component is here. So I'm going to use in this component. So I'll just use this. And this is the component now, right? Simple MDE. That will give me that Word document, okay? So here I'll just replace text area with simple MDE component and close, right? And done. And look at now, right? Let's go back here. Refresh. So document is not defined. What is the error? Okay, something is not correct. So we import that to simple MDE, right? And this is the one. Okay, so the problem now, right? It says while generating the page, right? Because even one more thing, I forgot to say, right? When you using the front end interaction with the client, right? Like forms and all that buttons, basically need to be the client component. Okay, so I will delete text area. I don't need. I just put here client component. I don't know why it did not give me error before. Use client, use client. Okay, now refresh. Okay, so we get this form now. So here I will type now, right? This is second title. Now here you can add like a bold, right? Let's say you want to add a bold. So this is the heading. You can choose heading, whatever, right? Then enter. Then you want to add some bullet point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, right? You want to add link, you can just insert the link here. See that? You can do all that, right? Okay, then you're going to submit the form, and this data should be go inside our database. So this is very basic minimum, right? You see same thing nicely designed. Okay, that you have to learn separate, right? You can find somewhere. If you have to use this library in the future, you can use that, but this is bare minimum, right? With no styling, but still it will do the job, right? Okay, so we just added this simple MDE editor, right? So let's complete this. Git add. Done. So I just build up to here, right? So what is the next thing to do? Yeah, so now handling the form submission, right? Finally, because now our form is ready, we need to learn how to handle the form submission, because you're going to submit. So for that, always most popular, right? React hook form. React hook form is one of the most popular library for handling React form, right? So how it works, I will just explain a little bit, and then we're going to continue from here tomorrow, right? I think that will be good enough for today, and then we'll try to finish this tomorrow. Okay, there is few things more. So how it works, right? You have to first install this library, npm install. If you look at here, installing React hook form only takes a single command line, right? You just need to install this. Copy that, and you'll see how this is used, right? This is used. Okay, done. The next step is let's go back, and next step is you import that, right? So here, import use form. Okay, use form from React hook form, right? That is what you have to get. So this is a function, right? This is a function, and that function is used for submitting the form. Okay, how it works? This is a function is what? Hook, right? When you see the use, that's the built-in functionality already. That is a hook in the React, right? So this is how it is used, right? Const, let's say it returns some data, right? Let's call it data for now, and then use form like this. Okay, right? And because we are using TypeScript, right, you must give the type of your data. You must provide the type of your data, right? Type of your data. So the type of data is what? Remember, we define all that schema, right? Similarly, you can define the type of your data which is going to handle by this form. So in the type, remember in the TypeScript we have learned, right, that we define like types by writing interface like this and give the name here, right? We can call it maybe issue form data like that, right? And then simply define your types here. So that is title, I believe. First one is title, right? The title will be string. Just define like this, right? And then you have description. Description will be also string. Okay, simple enough. Yeah, that is fine, right? So now you just use that type, because this form will only, this form, right, gonna handle these two two types. Okay, these two data. So you must define your types and give it to him, give it to this form, right? And how you going to give it? By adding this bracket, right? And here you're going to say issue form data, right? Like that. Done. So the point is this form, right? This hook will return the object. You can destructure that, right? Like this. And now you're going to get all these things, okay? Like a reset, rest field, whatever, right? So important one is register. So I will explain what this register is now, right? Let's console log and register, and you pass here maybe something like title. So this is the one function which is going to register all our fields from like text or simple MD, all that, right? It's going to register. Okay, so we just let's go back, right, in the console here, and just remember this returns object, right? Look at that. This register function returns object, and it has all this title now, right? It has title, unblur, unchanged, right? What is unchanged now? This is a function. When you typing, right? Let's say you type something in your form, okay? Like this is something you're typing, right? This register will capture all this change through that function. So it has everything built inside now, because you have never done before, right? Form submission in React. This is the first time. Just understand this register will take the data from this input fields, right? Put together in one place, okay? That is all this register is doing, right? But we have to use that in our here, okay? We have to use it here, right? For example, you can use it like this, dot dot dot, register, and then you give the name of the what kind of data will be, right? It will be, this is our title, right? Just pass the title there. So if you type something here, it will be taken from this title, okay? Whatever you put here, that will be title, right? And then same thing in the simple MDE also. But the problem is, simple MDE is the outside library, right? When you have something from outside, the React hook form will not work directly. So there is one more step we have to do, something configuration we have to do. So we'll just continue this tomorrow, right? From tomorrow, okay? We'll just continue and try to complete this. But you guys can, complete up to this point, and tomorrow we will finish this one, okay? So when I keep teaching, right, it's like when it get too long, maybe people will start getting bored. I know that. So let's not get that bored. I just step by step, okay? We just move step by step. Understand this is important, okay? It's very important, right? We have to, no matter what, we have to learn it. You have to promise yourself that we're gonna do it. Stop